Hello. Welcome. It's Damn Fine TV Happy Hour. No one is here, and this is the part of the live where you pretend you know what's going on. So, hopefully I'm not talking to myself, as in hopefully my AirPods are working. Hello, Dee. How are you? Hello, Superficial Mills. How are you? Now, how do I request? There we go. We'll do it live. Hello, Arcside Designs. How's everybody doing? Oh, hello. What a way to enter. What an entrance. You always make such an entrance on an IG Live. I love it. How you doing? Oh, you got a new shirt, I see, to add to your collection of black shirts.
That was in there, yes.
That was in there in that story?
That was in there.
Amazing. So it's already included. Perfect.
Yes.
Can you see the rest of it? Can you get a shot of the rest of it? Oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Where did you get it from?
I found it on Etsy.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. I was doing the old singing to myself as you start an Instagram Live, you know?
Of course, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get adjusted here, and of course,
That's
this
okay.
thing is already not showing me the comments anymore. So anyway, sorry, y'all.
I don't know why that happens, and I can't figure out like the rhyme or reason for it, because I did a live with Tarot Coven like last week.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the one who started it, but I could see the comments, and the person who started it couldn't see the comments. So
weird.
I have no idea why the Instagram overlords choose to show the comments to certain people and not to others.
Why do you hate us, Instagram?
I wonder if it's a regional. No, that makes no sense. Because I know there's weird stuff with like Instagram music in certain regions, but
yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of music,
yes.
before we start chatting about Stranger Things, we're going to do our reveal, right?
Yes.
Of our songs that would save us from Vecna. So we're going to guess each other's.
Okay.
And then I guess that will reveal whether or not the finers guessed right in the polls, right? So
right.
I don't know. I'm more nervous about this than the rest of our conversation, honestly. Do you want to kick us off, or do you want me to guess yours first?
No, I'm gonna guess yours.
Okay.
It's a toss-up between Dreams and Soulmate. I kind of want to go with Soulmate, but I don't know.
Okay, well, let me preface this answer by saying, as soon as I sent you my 3 picks, I was like, it's none of those. I don't know why I sent them.
What?
I know, because I don't know. It was so difficult for me. I was texting this to you, like, I don't know how to narrow it down to 3. And then as I sent it, I was like, that's not even my favorite Fleetwood Mac song. That's not even my favorite Heart song. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I just picked like the 3 things that came to mind, and then I got in my head about it, and then I just went back to those 3. So that said, it could be any of those 3, honestly. But I listened to all 3 today, and the one that's stuck in my head is Dreams. So I got to go with that one.
All right. Okay.
That's the one I just kept singing all day afterwards. So I got to go with that.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It is. And I read the story of how it was written and sort of came to be. It's a very interesting story. So
yeah, lots of interesting stories around Fleetwood Mac.
Around that album in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So Finers, you were right if you guessed Dreams. Somehow you tapped into my brain and realized that's what I would end up going with. I don't know, but
I love that this is also just shot in the dark too. Like,
for yours or for mine?
No, yours.
Oh yeah, yeah, it really was. I asked Tyler, I said, what would it like, what do you think it would be? And he said, oh, it would be an episode of your podcast. As in, like, only your voice could save you from Vecna.
You can only save yourself, which
That's
actually I
right.
kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Right? Yeah. All right. So for you, this was tough for me because I'm not familiar with any of these songs. I feel like music is where we really differ in our tastes,
Yeah.
but I know a lot of the like most of the finers voted for the Smashing Pumpkins song Tonight Tonight, but I'm gonna go with Miss World by Hole.
It's actually Tonight Tonight. So
Okay.
the finers, I know this is probably sending shockwaves across the universe because I love Hole. I love Nirvana. I purposely didn't put a Nirvana song in there because I didn't want to. I just
figured that would be too obvious.
That
one. For sure.
But it's actually Tonight Tonight by Smashing Pumpkins. Like the first time I thought, like, well, what song would work for me? It immediately came to mind, and I think it's because it literally just reminds me of like when I started driving in high school, and there are like lyrics to the song that are like, about saving yourself and things like that. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
So way to go,
I don't know.
finers.
Yeah, they were really on point. And for the record, I will say I also asked Tyler what he thought yours was, and he did guess correctly. So
Okay.
he knows what's up. Yeah.
Oh.
Are you okay? So you don't see this comment from Arkside Designs, which says, "I feel like Mel's looks like Shailene Woodley tonight."
Oh my gosh, what a compliment. Thank you. Well, I'm using my Stranger Things makeup that I bought. So,
ooh, what are the colors called?
Well, there's two palettes. One is, I think, just Hawkins High or whatever, and the other one is In the Void. So this one is In the Void, and it has like dark, like blues and greens and reds and blacks, and the other one is a more lighter palette. So
right, it's very pretty. It looks great with your hair.
Ah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so songs are revealed. Way to go, finers.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Next, I do feel like we should address something before we get into episode 5, which is that our coverage for episodes 1 through 4, we were definitely talking like season 4 is the last season. It's all going to be over soon. Da 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 da. We've had comments of people being like, you guys, I think it's coming back for season 5. And I was like, no way. This is the final season.
We were consulted on this. Okay.
They absolutely called us. We are very close with the Duffer Bros. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it's not the final season. I swear it was billed as the final season at some point, which, that got in my head. Also, the fact that these episodes are like a bajillion hours long and they split the season for some reason. So it all felt like a very epic conclusion that they were building towards, right? So anyways, I think that's on me. I feel like I started talking in that way, and then that just kind of permeated our conversation. So, my bad.
I was under the same impression. I mean, I know COVID kind of put a halt on when they were filming and whatnot, but
yeah,
I think from the beginnings of the rumblings of season 4, I thought it was the last season myself, because I don't know what else they're going to continue to do. I mean, these kids, they look like they should be getting out of high school. Let's be honest. So
they're older than us, Mel's.
I know, I can't believe it. They're like so much older than me. But yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not gonna complain. Give me all the Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused, to be honest, because I don't, like you just said, I don't know why we would have the episodes this long, the season split like this. I mean, so we'll see what comes in the future.
Yeah, and I feel like we said this on the show too, like there's probably a good reason why they split it, and we're going to see the final 2 episodes and be like, oh, okay, this is why, right? We should trust the showrunners, yada, yada, yada. But I will say, watching back episodes 5 and 6 for tonight, now through the lens of knowing that the show is not over, these episodes are long and they don't need to be this long. Like, sorry, they just don't need to be. Like, I think it totally changed my point of view, because when I thought it was over, I was like, well, okay, like they're, this is all we're getting, and they're fleshing things out because they're leading up to something. And now I'm like, why do we have 16 scenes of Hopper moving from one room in the jail to the next? Like, this could be condensed.
I mean, honestly, I'm sorry, Hop, love you to death, but I thought that anyway before
you did, yes,
there was
yeah.
another season come. I mean, I hate the F word, which is filler, but I just feel like a lot of Hopper stuff really is filler, except for the main things that we need to discuss and we need to see. But yeah, it's just,
or it just feels like it's, I think, the stuff with especially Joyce and Murray and Hopper, I think like they could have been in either 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why we spread it out. But anyways, I'm going to catch up with a couple of comments. Jen says, ladies looking fab. Thank you, Jen.
Ah, thank you.
And Arcside Design says, they better bring back Eddie for the duration of the show or I'll riot.
Well, listen, I'm here to tell you, okay, I'm so bad about this. Like, I will say, oh my God, if you do this, I will never watch this show again.
Yeah.
And fully lie.
Yeah.
I told myself I was never going to watch Stranger Things again when I thought they killed Hopper. And I mean, here we are. But do not give me a character like Eddie if he is not going to stick around. Like, we need a character like him. I know somebody is going to have to obviously like kick the bucket in the next like final episodes or whatever. But I will at least write a strongly worded letter if it turns out to be my boyfriend Eddie, because I loved Billy, I loved Steve, but Eddie takes all the cakes. Okay, he can have all the cakes. So
he is getting a lot of attention. Like, I think he is a new fan favorite, big time. Deez is saying, give us more Eddie.
That's
like, people want Eddie.
Yeah. So
I'm like, he's fine, whatever. Like, no hate, no hate for Eddie, but
I don't know what it is about him. I think it's because he looks like Eddie Van Halen. I figured it out. Like, I was really racking my brain because I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? I think it's the aesthetic of Eddie Van Halen, plus like he's relatable, at least for me, and like my interest in the things that I was up to in high school. But yeah, definitely, I think it's the Eddie Van Halen angle, and I'm like, makes a lot of sense, because I had a huge crush on Eddie Van Halen when I was younger. So
that's fair. Yeah.
This
is reminding me, this is so off topic, but the other night, for some reason, I started watching The Little Mermaid live, and I realized that like my affection for redheads is very much rooted in my love for The Little Mermaid.
I'm gonna be honest.
I like put these things together. I was like, holy shit, I think Ariel was my first crush.
You know what? Not only that, but I think that she's the reason why I wanted red hair for so long. Like, and I wanted that specific red hair. I wanted like fire, red, and I had a very talented hairdresser that would made it happen for me, and I would torture myself by washing my hair in freezing cold water so it wouldn't fade in between colorings, all because I was trying to achieve Ariel status. So I think that she's the beginning of a lot of, like, I guess our age, that's the princess or whatever.
Right. Yes. Hair color coveting, sexual awakenings, it's all there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got
minor details like, girl, you don't have to
give your fins, sweetie. You
don't
have
legs for no man, but
don't lose your voice for him. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, hello. But
Alyssa saying also Eddie Munson makes me think of Eddie Munster. That's a good point. I also said to Mel's, what about Manson? Which I know it's not like exactly, but I think if they're playing on the Satanic Panic
Oh,
angle,
for
then
sure.
the Manson thing.
And that,
Um,
and I mean, probably Ozzy too. So yeah,
right, yeah. And then Dee says, I saw something about Eddie looking like a young Robert Downey Jr. Yes, I could see that. Yeah.
yes,
And yes, Alyssa, Sadie Sink steals the show. She's the best this season. Yeah.
agreed.
Redheads.
Yeah.
And Alex, I was super in love with Ariel. Yes. Ariel love. Okay, let's get into this. Let's start with episode 5. I mean, unless you want to do episode 6 first for some reason, that'd be weird, but like, whatever.
Do we want to do the
Um,
upside down? No, I'm good with doing 5.
yeah. Okay, so episode 5, Project Nina or the Nina Project. Do you want to start just where the episode starts in California?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was such a great opening to the episode. It was super intense. It was sad. I mean, I somehow cared about this security guard guy all of a sudden. Like the death felt kind of epic to me.
Yeah.
But just them like saying like get off the road. I loved it. It was a great opening.
Um, okay, so the action that we are starting to kind of get, I guess, in California, I'm here for. First of all, I love Argyle. He could do no wrong in my eyes. So, but that whole like when he's trying to figure out like what's going on, oh my God, is he dying? Whatever, and they're like, get off the yeah. It's just so great, and like all of those, friends, and I'm obviously Will and Jonathan are brothers, but like that group, like without Argyle, like they have so much history that he has no clue about, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like security guard or this officer or whatever
like, he was, yeah.
Right, kicking the bucket in front of them is like nothing compared to what they've seen. But poor Argyle's like, oh my God, what is going on?
He really found himself in quite a kerfuckus that like he has no idea. Yeah. He's in for it. And him freaking out this entire episode is so funny. And Jonathan just sending him away, like, just go smoke some more weed, buddy. You're going to be okay. And then wanting to write on the headstone is so cute.
I know.
I think the stand-up. What? Go ahead.
He's such a pure soul.
He really really is. I mean, he's kind of just stoned all the time too, but I think he has a pure heart.
Yeah.
I think the standout for me though with the Cali kids is just a little conversation between Mike and Will on like the hood of that car.
Yeah.
And that is definitely leading more towards the direction of what Tyler was saying behind the scenes, but that I brought up on the show that like maybe Will has feelings for Mike, but just this whole thing of it's really hard to be vulnerable and truthful with people that you really care for. What if they don't like the truth? There's definitely something coming from Will. Like there has to be some sort of revelation that's coming.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I know this is I'm sure everyone already realizes this and it's made its rounds all over the interwebs, but I didn't realize this until I literally saw a reel that someone put together of it. But they forgot Will's birthday. Like
when is his birthday?
So, okay, back in like season 1, yeah, or whatever, when he comes back from the upside down or whatnot, and Joyce is like, you know what today is? It's your birthday. It's March 22nd. Well, when they're in the skating rink and Angela gets the roller skate to the face, like on the video camera, it says it's March 22nd. And I was like, no, not to forget Will's birthday. Like,
that's kind of perfect for like
no
how sidelined that kid was for so long. Like,
I mean, good Lord.
That's really weird. That's a definite oversight. Like that's a huge well, that's not a huge problem, but like it's an oversight for sure.
Well, yeah, or I mean, like it's just such a deep cut. I don't know, like to where it's like, if only if you're paying attention, like, but
true.
Like but also, like, was he
Oh, so
okay
you think it's
salty?
purposeful maybe that like it was his birthday, they went to a fucking roller rink and said nothing about it?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, is he just like extra
Interesting.
salty because it's also his birthday and no one is fucking telling him happy birthday? His mom isn't even in town. Or well, no,
True.
I guess she was in town for that day, but anyway, she left shortly thereafter. So
That is so weird. I
yeah,
hadn't heard that. I'm glad you brought it up.
yeah. So I'm sorry, but we okay. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Alyssa says, but it was an oversight by production. They didn't really mean for it to happen. Okay.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay, interesting.
Thank you. Thank you for the info.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah,
That would be so sad. Will's had enough shit to deal with. Come on.
I mean, yeah, his barber obviously hates him. So I mean, like,
I don't know how I'm the only person that's like, I kind of like Will's haircut.
well,
I
okay.
know. I'm really like the 1% on that. It's fine. It's fine. I think it's just because it's so it makes so much sense for the time and especially for like this is no shade to Joyce, but I don't think she would really be attentive to that kind of stuff. And I think she would absolutely put a bowl on Will's head and cut. Like
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Jonathan had the bowl cut. I believe he pretty much had a bowl cut like season 1 and 2.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So
He's probably
yeah,
just older and he's making more, you know, shaggy hair choices or whatever.
right. He's just letting it grow, man. Now,
Yeah. Yeah. He's too stoned to realize. So, all right. You want to move on to Joyce and Murray?
yes.
They are, I mean, they are a great team. They are a great team that like I guess we got some of that in season 3, but Hopper and Alexi were in the mix, so we didn't get to see like just the two of them. Um I love them together, and I love when Joyce is like, "Isn't black the best color in karate?"
Okay, they are such a great duo. Also, I'm very sad that you even brought up Alexi because that is why I'm very worried for Eddie because Alexi quickly became
Right.
a fan favorite and then he was done. So,
That's true. Yeah.
but no, you're right. Like I'm loving just Murray and Joyce. Like nobody else involved. I love that they play off of each other. Like Murray's obviously super eccentric, but he also is like the person I would probably call to help me
Oh,
get
in this
Hopper out of this
situation,
stuff.
yeah.
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 And then Joyce, like, she's just a bit airheaded, or and like she does make sense, but also like she needs somebody like Murray. So I'm loving seeing the two of them just bouncing off of each other and going on this wild quest to get Hopper and all the nuances of Murray, like with his karate and, like we mentioned before, the risotto, like everything
Ugh,
about him.
yeah.
It's like, give it all to
And
me.
his speech is so cheesy about the karate, but then he ends up really coming through. I mean, he goes a little bit too far, but he really comes through and does what needs to be done so that neither of them get too badly hurt, I guess, even though they're like very much going down in a plane crash.
Yeah, yeah. I like how, yeah, he just beat him up just enough because he knows that he still needs him, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And that whole thing was so intense too. I mean, I loved that sequence of just like the plane going down and then them steering it back up and then the final thing that we leave them on just flipping switches trying to figure it out and I
oh,
mean,
oh my God.
obviously we're covering episode 6 tonight too, so we know they survive. It's a little extra that they survive, but it's cool, whatever. Rule of cool.
Rule cool. Yeah, you got it right there. Yeah, absolutely.
And yes, it is Jen joined us and asked, did y'all see it was Will's birthday at the roller rink? You just missed us talking about that. Yeah.
Hey, Sandwich. Yeah, yeah. I just talked about that. And I think that, amongst other things, I think that just adds the extra salt on Will's there. So,
Absolutely. I mean, not much else with them. It's really just them getting on the plane, right? So,
right. Yeah.
okay, let's chat about Max's crew then. So, she's doing all of these drawings, which this was very much a callback and an echo to Will's drawings from
Absolutely.
season 2, I think, that Joyce ends up getting Bob's help with to kind of put together.
Bob. Okay,
I
you're gonna
know.
stop breathing
They
down.
really do keep doing that though, hey?
I
Like,
know.
yeah, yeah. I hated Bob at first. And then when he bit the bullet, I was like, I want to apologize to everyone that loves Bob and Bob's family. Bob is a pure soul.
Bob's family, I am very deeply sorry
My
for.
deepest condolences. Condolences.
Um, no, you're right. That went totally left, like left, sideways, up, down, wherever.
We went left
Um,
or sideways? That's so surprising.
it definitely was a callback to Will and his drawings and the way. Again, it's so genius, and we'll talk more about this. Oh wait, no, that's not until 7. So in our next live about kind of what happens, um, when anyway, what happens in 7.
Sure. Sure.
I love the way that they put together, communication, like with the Christmas lights, obviously from, season 1. And then you've got the drawings and the way that they create, the whole upside down or like whatever's coming next. And so I love that Max is drawing and she's doing all of these things. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I did like I mean Dustin even calls it out like, "Oh man, we really need Will." But like her drawings are good enough. I guess it's lucky that Nancy has seen what she's drawing, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But then so then, on it must have been episode 4. But in one of our in one of our episodes, you had said that you were really hoping that they would head to the Creel house and explore more of what was happening there. And I very coyly was like, yeah, me too, even though I had already seen 5. So I was excited for you to see this one because we did get to go and explore the house. And okay, it was fun enough because it has the haunted house vibe. We get like the spooky dead spider jars and the flickering lights. Like there's a lot of fun that happens in the house. But really, towards the end of it, I was kind of thinking like, what did they actually figure out? Like I know that they're going to start putting together some pieces in episode 6, but I was like, I feel like this was mostly just to have some relationship conversations, which is fine. There's some good ones.
Yeah.
But I guess I think I wanted more from the house.
Yeah, me too. I wanted there to be, okay, like not to put down, because I mean, again, yeah, like this isn't a rated R horror movie. So I mean, like we're not going to get like House of a Thousand Corpses, right? Like I'm not going to see Fish Boy, like in the walls or whatever. I wanted a little more from the haunted house, or well, the Creel house, I should say.
Yeah.
I guess it serves its purpose though to kind of, because it's obviously connected to like whatever it is that Vecna is doing, because you see so many of those things in there, right? Like the grandfather clock. You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, things like that, right? And the little scares that we did get, like with the spiders, that grossed me out. I was like, ew, that's not scary, that's gross.
It was so gross. And all the webs in his hair, in Steve's hair, I was like,
hated it.
It felt very personal that they attacked his hair.
Very.
Like, yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
But yeah, and oh gosh, what was the second part? I was too busy like shitting all over the haunted house there. Oh,
well,
the relationship
all the
talks.
Yes, which like the one between Lucas and Max is so good.
I agree.
I feel like maybe Lucas is on his way to dying because he's just maturing so nicely and saying all of the right things. I know, I don't want it either. Oh, that's okay, Jen. Thanks for coming, though.
Bye.
Good to chat with you for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want it either, but I just think like he's really maturing, really coming into his own. He's saying all of the right things. And I feel like some shows will do that. Like they'll start to really develop a character in that way so that it really hits hard. And Alyssa is saying, you shut that up, Jazz. So.
I know. Listen, I don't want I really don't want anyone to die. Can we
don't
just get a
either.
season where no one? Well, actually,
I
there is
don't think.
one I don't mind to see them kick the bucket, and we'll get to that later. So, okay.
Okay, all right. But I just thought this was so sweet that, he had missed her laugh.
I
And just to
know.
comment on it like that, yeah, I'm a Kate Bush fan now. She saved your life. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
really, really fucking sweet.
I know. Oh my gosh, I might tear up because you're right. I mean, like, and she needed that. I mean, she had been such like peril and everything when it comes to Billy, and she was fighting like, and she was, and this is, it's so what I love about especially this season is just the way that they're dealing with, I mean, trauma. And I know there's a supernatural spin on this, but it's still, trauma and like mental health and things like that. But it feels so real. Like she's distanced herself. She's kind of like, crawled into her own little, space or whatever. And so, yeah, hearing all Lucas say all these things, she needed that though, it's like,
Big time. Yeah.
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 Well,
And it gets even better in episode 6, but we
yeah.
can save it for then. I guess less sweet though is the stuff like they're very clearly setting up the Steve and Nancy thing, as I predicted early on. It's
And
too obvious at this point.
that is who I am. If Nancy kicks the bucket, I will not cry.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm sorry. I don't. Nance, you've had a good fun. I'm done. That sounds so bad, but
I feel there's so much I want to say, but I have to save it for our conversation about episode 7. So
I know.
zip, zip, zip. Like I've said before, I want Steve to be happy. So if Nancy is what makes Steve happy, great. Then all the power to them. I thought it was very cute when he tried to what's the word I'm looking for? When he tried to say the Sherlock Holmes quote back to Nancy and he had no fucking clue what he was talking about.
That should have
But it
been
was
like
so sweet.
Sherlock, probably.
Comma, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess that
yeah,
part of the house stuff was fine. And yeah, it's gonna help them connect some stuff, but I don't know. It lacked a little for me.
yeah.
So let's talk about Elle and Project Nina.
Yes.
So this might just be nitpicky and maybe it really doesn't matter, but when we first arrive at the like secret facility, it says 12 hours ago. Why?
I don't.
Like at first when I was rewatching, I thought, oh, is it gonna somehow connect to the flickering lights and of course Patrick's death, right? Later in the episode. But I don't know that it does. Like I know that we cut from stuff happening in Hawkins to this secret lab, but I don't know that they're connected anyway. I don't know. People watching, like if you have thoughts on that, please share. But I was just like, why are we getting the timestamp? Like if they just want to give us a timestamp, I guess that's cool, but is there something more to that I'm missing?
I mean, I can't connect anything right now unless if for some reason Elle gets back on her A game and goes to save the day, which, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but, like if that,
yeah, like are they just trying to root it in like these are happening at the same time? Because like I would have already just assumed that honestly. Like
well, same, but also like is it giving us some sort of perspective? Because I'm gonna be honest, I mean, and we can talk more about this in when we do our coverage of 7, but I get a little like confused or like twisted when it comes to like her time here during Project Nina and at the secret facility. I'm like, how long are you there? Like what's going on? I mean, it seems like you're there for like months. I don't know. It's just, yeah.
well,
So
and they say, oh, it could take months, and it's like you all know this can't take months. Like we have a plot. Come on, like it's not. You don't have the time. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought that was weird, and I wanted to ask because I was wondering if there was something that I was completely forgetting. So
no, I mean, it didn't strike anything with me either. So
Yeah. And now, do you think this is the same set from Underneath the Mall? Like where Steve and Robin and them were in season 3? It looks like the same hallways, like the circular hallway thing, but just repurposed.
I wouldn't doubt it if it was. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, I'm not saying it's the same place, obviously, but
No, but it does remind me of that. It really does. Now that you say that, so yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What are your feelings on this? Because at first I was like, this feels like a trap to me. Like, if it's not something sinister, then why do they need to sedate her? Why do they need to shave her head and put her into the floating uniform while she's sleeping? That's so creepy to me. Like, I don't like any of this.
Well, that's to harness. Okay, I don't know, but this is where my thought process is going. Okay, I don't know, but so I know that we've seen her submerge herself, right? When when
Yeah.
she had to cross over and was like helping find Will. So I don't. Yeah, I guess this is the same premise, but it's like whatever they're feeding, like into those waters or whatever for her to, because they keep saying it's going to make her have her be a superhero again or whatever.
Like you're saying they need to sedate her in order to put her in the tank?
Right, and then like whatever it is, she has. Okay, it's almost like a hypnosis maybe type thing, but like I feel like she needs to be at some level of like subconscious to unlock something that's deep down in there, and it could have to do with the cold open that we saw, but like why does she all of a sudden not have her powers anymore? And then like if they knew that that was going to eventually happen, because they came up with Project Nina, like this is not something that they just heard that 11 lost her powers a year ago and they're like, oh yeah, okay, well let's
Right.
see if they figure out how to help her get it back. Like this is something that they've always had like in the works or on the back burner. So yeah, you know what I mean. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I guess,
And I could
and
understand like if she needs to be in a certain state of mind in order
yeah,
to um go into these memories and relive them and start to unpack all of these things that she's really buried down. But I just don't like that she had no consent. Like there
well,
was no consent for this first time. Like the idea of these men shaving a little girl's head and then undressing her to put her in this floating outfit was just so uncomfortable to me. And Alyssa saying these PTSD moments for Elle are so tough to watch. It's
yeah,
super dark and uncomfy. Yeah, like, and I understand the purpose, and I think they're doing such, you already brought it up, like the way that they're dealing with trauma this season, I think
yeah.
is super interesting and like really well done. So I'm not like mad that they did this, but it just makes me feel sus about the whole thing, the
Oh
way
yeah,
that they went about it.
yeah. No, I mean, and also I don't like. I appreciate what they're doing. Like this is great, and it's going to eventually, I guess, help Elle, and it's going to, I guess, make its way back to Hawkins. I don't know, but I I was so glad to not in my mind thinking I don't ever have to worry about like the lab shit anymore, Dr. Brennan, like or Brenner or whatever his name, like Papa, none of that nasty.
Ugh,
Like
ugh,
I have to
Papa.
do that anymore. And here we are back at it, and I'm just like,
You know, this is another reason that I think in my head I was like, this is the final season because we're going back to origin stories,
right
like going back to the lab. We're going back to like figure out
back
all
to
of
the
these
lab.
back
Yeah.
to the lab late one night. But to these like deep seated memories of Elle's, like
Mhm.
before she ever got to Benny's Burgers that one day, right? But
Yeah.
um Alyssa says, yes, the lack of consent is what makes it worse for sure. It's just so creepy. But yeah, this is the whole point of this project is that we can have these super painful memories that we bury so deep because we want to forget them. And so they're trying to unearth these memories for her. And I think all of that is really, really interesting and a really compelling way for us to go back into or for us to be told kind of more about what happened at the lab instead of just flashbacks.
Right.
Like, I think that's really smart storytelling.
Sure. I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like that premise. I hate the subject material, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I could have done without more Papa. That is for sure.
for damn sure. Yeah.
But it is working, right? Because we see her like blast some guards. And is this the episode where she like decks him in the face with a one of those paddles?
Defibrillator?
Sure. Yeah. A
No,
defibby paddle.
it doesn't matter.
It's a defibby. We're just gonna call it a defibby.
A defibby?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. Regardless, we're going to talk about both episodes. I mean, but that was phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
she's not a little girl anymore, so.
No. Yeah, Alyssa says even calling him Papa is barfy face. Green
Okay.
barfy face. Yeah.
So much. Listen, yeah. I have so much, obviously, for later on, but I hate it all. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's easy to hate, that's for sure. All right, well, want to quickly talk about the basketball jerks. So,
Sure.
I mean, really, there's only a few things. I just want to say, and Abby says anyone saying Papa gets like the barfy faces. So I call Tyler Papa, but from Kasima. So it's cute. Come on, that's cute.
Is it? Papa. Okay, all right.
But I'm not
Maybe
saying like
this is
Papa.
maybe
Papa.
this is a regional thing. So like Papa for me is like a granddaddy. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like when I'm talking to
we
the
have
dogs,
that here. Yeah.
yeah, when I'm talking to the dogs or like even my child, I'm like, oh, dad's home or daddy's home, but
Right.
no, if I don't know, it's getting weird. It's getting weird.
That's fair. That's fair. I think we're all gonna have those like mom and father names that like sound weird to people. But
Sure.
all right, so listen, Chrissy did have a funeral. Just because I didn't remember it happening doesn't mean that she didn't have a funeral.
You there?
Oh yeah, sorry. I think
okay.
My AirPod cut out.
We had a funeral where and it is where Scott went to preschool.
So in that building is where he went to preschool?
Yeah, so that is the Stone Mountain Methodist Church. And so that is where he went to preschool.
Oh, so interesting.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I mean, it's always weird because I feel kind of like, I don't know, like I'm sure people that live in LA, right, when they see like LA in a movie, they're like, oh my God. But I don't ever hear people being like, oh gosh, I've been there before. It's just very different though when it's like a small town like in Georgia. Like I think people might get tired of it, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like
I mean, honestly though, it's the same for me. And I know that there's a ton of stuff filmed in Toronto, but sometimes like it's not filmed here as in like, oh, that is exactly what that storefront looks like. Like they put like for Umbrella Academy or whatever when they were filming here, like you can't tell some of the places. So whenever I see stuff from Toronto, I'm like, I've walked down that street before.
I love it. Okay, good. Yeah, no, it's just great because like Scott's brother was actually the one. He was like, that's where we went to preschool, and I was like, that is the Methodist church. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's so cool. No, I love stuff like that. Abby says, and French Canadian, Papa isn't gross. Us Canadians. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's more normal here.
True. Like, you're right. Like, I've heard, kids, right. That's why I said it's a regional or Papa. International thing. Like, I've heard them call their dads Papa. Yeah. I'm not going to call Scott Papa.
That's fine. That's fine. Not even at like sexy times?
Hell no. You better be glad you get Scott out of me. That's it. No.
Okay, all right.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, so she does have a funeral. And then I guess basically like what, they come up with a plan. They're gonna go after Eddie.
Yes.
They find him, and then we get to see Patrick. Well, that was such a rude way of putting it. We get to see Patrick taken down. But it's just that I don't get tired of the way that Vecna is taking out his victims. I think it's so creepy and so well done.
I mean, listen, we've seen Chrissy, we've seen, oh gosh, I can't even remember that poor guy's name.
Was it Fred?
Fred, yeah.
I think. It was replacement Jonathan, basically.
I was really into the way that this happened with Patrick, though.
Over the lake and everything, yeah.
It was so, like, felt so Friday the 13th to me. Like,
oh, yeah.
Jason coming out of the lake, or like in one of the, it might be Freddy versus Jason, which, sorry guys, is one of my favorite movies. But anyways, like, he shoots out of the lake. I think it's Freddy that shoots out of the lake. So like, even, yeah, like, it just felt so like Friday the 13th that's been my favorite death, like, so far.
It was very cool. And isn't this basically Freddy versus Jason? Because if we've got the whole, like, the water at night, and we've already done, like, the dreams thing with Freddy, so we basically got Freddy versus Jason in episode 5.
True.
Yeah.
We need to find something with fire.
What's that?
So maybe we'll get something with fire, because like that's like Freddy's real, like,
right,
you know, nemesis is the fire, because it got burned out. But yeah, nonetheless.
Well, there was a fire at the mall, but that was last season, so forget it.
Well, yeah,
not
maybe we'll get something this season, but I'm loving it though.
Yeah, it was very cool to watch. And like, of course, the way it's happening in the episode, it's all happening at the same time as the flickering lights at the Creel house. So the way it's all cut together is super intense and really fun.
Now that house stuff, I like. I mean, like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Finally, when something was happening, they were following the lights, and then, but it helps that it's being, like, interwoven with all of this stuff with Patrick. I mean, it just really amps up the tension. Abby says, I'm loving the homage to the biggest horror movies in this season. Truly, like, they're doing so much of it, and it's great. I think that's another reason I was like, oh, they're bringing out all the stops for the final season.
Yeah.
Let me stop defending my weird brain.
No, I mean, I'm going to keep defending it because it just feels like a final season. So whatever.
Yeah. It's not going to, though. Once we get to the actual finale, it's going to be like, I need more now.
I'm sure.
So,
yeah. As if, what, a 2-hour finale isn't going to be enough for me.
I mean, speaking of which, like, yeah, in terms of our coverage, we're going to continue, I almost called it superficial things coverage.
I love
Superficial things. We're going to continue our coverage on Instagram Live. We're going to do episode 7, and then we're going to do episode 8 and episode 9.
Yeah.
We had originally intended to do kind of everything together, but these episodes are so long. Like, if you guys haven't heard, episode 8 is going to be like 85 minutes, and episode 9 is a Marvel movie. So tuck in. Yeah. Well, I guess we could check in with Hopper. That's really the last character. Although I will say it's kind of a random thing, but we do see that in the Munson trailer, there's a crack in the ceiling, which I thought was a really nice way to start building a certain something, just to, like, kind of check in quickly, show it to us. It's very subtle. I like that. Yeah. So the Hopper stuff. The story about, you know, him being in the army and having to do the Agent Orange stuff, losing his child, being scared to lose Joyce. It's all very touching. It's very sad. And I get that he has hit a kind of a rock bottom, but it felt a little woe is me. And I was like, can we...
Not you shaming this poor guy who's like trapped in Russia, and like all these bad things have happened to him, and the only good thing that happened to him was Elle and Joyce, and you like get your big girl panties on, Hopper. Okay?
I think it was just the writing. It was just and what? Bye, Abby, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your
That's
night.
not gonna change your current sitch, sweetie. Okay.
Like moping around about it's not gonna do you much, Hopper. So
Not Hopper being the emo teen. Like, I love it.
I think again it's just that like had that stuff been mixed with what we get in episode 6, I don't know that I would have the same reaction. But when I'm putting my notes together based on just what's happening with each character group, I'm like, well, what did we get?
No,
Like
I agree. Yeah, totally. Totally.
Alyssa's saying I actually hated the whole whiny moment too. It was a little overacted.
Well, that's why I say, like, when I meant, like, him being like, it was super emo, like, super, like, oh, yeah.
And I understand the character motivation. He is in a very fucked up situation. This is, I mean, of all of the fucked up things that have happened to him, this is certainly
Takes the cake.
the rock bottom of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it just didn't fully work for me, unfortunately. But
Yeah, and I mean, like, okay, so this is where I start questioning, like, where I'm at on something, because not me, like, okay, we already talked about, like, Enzo seems like a fun character, right? Like, I know he's a underhanded Russian or whatever, but, like, not me actually being like, Enzo, okay, like, hearing
yeah.
like, talking about his experiences with Hopper, not me being more empathetic to Enzo than I really was to Hopper, though. I mean,
They're really good at that. Like they are very good at writing characters and getting you to empathize with them because I mean even the Billy stuff, like I really did not like Billy, but I still managed to feel something because of Max.
Sure. I was like, don't put your mind flayer through his beautiful body. Oh!
I mean, if only he had been beautiful and just like not racist. How cool would that be?
No, the absolute worst. But if he like, we sewed his lips together and he couldn't talk, I would take it all day long.
Hey,
Papa,
that's a solution. Just
Papa, don't preach.
Papa.
Now we can talk about Papa. No,
sure, now it's allowed. Yeah. Alyssa says, although Hopper's moment was sad, I think they conveyed the same sadness when Elle gave her class presentation, and that was the right way to do it. That's a great point. Yeah.
Precisely. Like, yeah. I was super sad, and like, I had a lot of feelings in that moment with Elle and the class presentation. I mean, that's what we talked about that, in the episode that,
it was released. It was gutting.
But it just didn't land for Hopper. And I mean, that doesn't mean I love Hopper any less. I mean, I'm so glad that he's not really dead. I'm so glad that we still have Hop. But we could have brought it down just a teeny bit there.
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me say though, if they do end up killing him, I'm not gonna like that.
Well, I won't be pissed because I'm gonna be like, don't fake out someone's death only to kill them, actually.
No, like it's gonna give me some Walking Dead flashbacks, a certain dumpster dive situation. I don't want to give it away, but don't like it. Mm-mm. So stupid.
I thought you were referring to somebody
the show
Walking Dead that took up with the dumpster people.
Oh, gotcha.
Because that was also...
Or the show itself jumping into the dumpster at some point while it was on fire.
Right. No. Yeah.
While we're on the subject of Hopper and Elle, though, before we move to episode 6, have you seen these videos going around about, like, the journey of the blue hairband?
Yes, and I mean, fuck
every single one of them makes me cry.
Making these, I cry every single time.
It's so stupid. It's literally just clips of it moving from character to character, and I'm like, oh my god. It's beautiful. It's such a subtle way of storytelling, and it's so beautiful. And I hate that I didn't notice it. It's so well done.
I know. I don't. Yeah, that's it. Another thing I didn't notice, like Will's birthday.
I mean, but just what a, like, the attention to detail really makes me love the show even more.
I mean, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we talk about Susie?
That's episode 6, yeah?
Oh, is
I
it?
mean, I think they make the plan.
Oh,
Like Will or
okay.
Mike is like,
I'm
oh, we
sorry.
just need a hacker. Because yeah, they
No,
find that information or they find the phone number inside of the pen. They're gonna go find Susie. Yeah.
gotcha. I'm sorry. Okay, yes. Well,
Okay.
we're on the way to see Susie. Okay.
We are on the road to see Susie. And let's just start with that. Let's start with the
Okay.
Cali kids going to Utah, right? To find
Salt Lake
Susie.
City, baby.
What the fuck is happening at Susie's house?
What? Okay.
Like,
No Tito shade, no pink lemonade, but
sure.
is Susie's obviously Mormon, okay? Because there are kids fucking everywhere, okay?
I guess so. Where's mom?
I don't know, but I don't think
Like
these are
Eden
kids.
is not mom.
No.
Eden is not mom. Okay.
No, I think
okay.
Eden's an older sister.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what the fuck's happening there. It definitely took me by surprise. It was a good joke because, you know, they're walking up there and being like, everybody be on their best behavior. It's a very religious household, blah, blah, blah. And then a kid dressed how he should not be dressed opens the door.
I love it. I mean, not that, but I mean, like, just the total chaos of,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alyssa says that house is wild. Jen is like, I had no idea what was going on in that house. Yeah, it almost felt to me like they set it up that way so that they would have a good distraction for the dad for later. Like, it felt like they sort of wrote it for that purpose, which, like, I'm kind of fine with because they pulled it off and it was interesting and it was entertaining and I was here for it.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, Susie, little bit of a letdown though.
Really?
No, I mean, like, because she ended up not really being able to help him that much, right?
I mean, I think she did. I think she got them the address. That's all they were looking for.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm thinking. Nope. Okay. No, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
So Susie, not so much of a letdown. She's all right.
No. Yeah. No. I mean, she's. What I love about it is also she's cunning and like just not what you thought she would be, but she is though. That's kind of a crazy way to put it, right? Like,
well, she has more layers, I think, than we were
sure.
given before. But she's super intelligent. I love her comment about the internet. Don't worry about it. It's just going to change the world. No big deal. That was a cute line. I got to go back in the comments here because if I can freaking find them there. Dee is saying Eden was giving Tia from Uncle Buck and Allison from Breakfast Club vibes. Okay, I don't know Uncle Buck, but absolutely Allison from Breakfast Club. Yeah.
So Uncle Buck
says Eden definitely looked like Ali Sheedy. Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Buck, perhaps the best film ever. Young Macaulay Culkin, but definitely.
Oh, right.
Survives 100%. I love Eden, and I love, kind of jealous of her and Argyle, to be honest. So
I mean, the connection was instant. I mean, I'll shove Susie. I'll do anything for you, Eden.
I love it.
And I gotta say, I think we spooked a skunk is definitely my new lingo. I cannot wait to actually be able to put that into use.
But how are you going to put that into use?
I think I'm just going to say, like, hey, let's go spook a skunk or something.
Okay.
Like, I got to change, like, the tense of how it's being used. But, yeah. I can't wait to use that.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, I did want to ask, why, okay, is it just simply that they don't want to endanger Susie, that they don't tell her the full truth? Because I was like, at this point, why don't we just let Susie in on the game here? Like,
yeah, maybe that's what I meant by, like, okay. I think that they don't want to involve Susie, but I also think that, like, Susie's going to be limited in what she's listen, she ain't gonna leave Salt Lake, Utah to
Probably not.
go, you know, and like save Dustin or anything like that. So I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, where it's like, you know, unfortunately they just used her for her internet knowledge, and then that was just kind of it. And then she, you know, but Honey Buns is really gonna get it when she finds all of this out, though, over the CB radio.
You mean there's no America Tendo went off, but
Oh no, I didn't hear anything.
oh, good. Okay, good.
Um,
Yeah, I was just kind of like, I feel like we could let her in on the secret at this point, but whatever. Okay, Joyce and Murray, shall we check in with the Russia crew?
yeah.
So I think this is where it's like, why couldn't I think they want to leave us on a cliffhanger with the whole like plane doing a nosedive thing in episode 5 because we don't really get too much here with Joyce and Murray. Like again, they're a great team. They did a really good job in convincing Yuri to just like, fucking tell them where to go and help them out and seeing Murray as Yuri is probably going to be very funny. And that's another great plan. But if this was a week to week show, I understand the choice to end where they end in episode 5 and not do these little bits of story. But otherwise, just put it all together. Like,
Yeah.
so.
No, Albert. He's scratching on my door. I'm so sorry, everyone out there. So sorry.
I don't know if anyone can hear it. I couldn't hear it. So.
Well, no, I just meant that I had to get onto it because every time he scratches, I jump a little bit because it scares me because I'm talking about all this like scary Stranger Things stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna need you to quit. Like, just stop. But anyway,
He's trying to spook you.
yeah, don't make me.
It's like, girl, let's spook the skunk. Come on.
But anyway, yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, not much to say, honestly.
Really, I mean, yeah, it was great. It was we already know. I guess that's kind of like, even if you haven't seen episode 7 or you have, I felt like before I'd even seen episode 7, I kind of already anticipated where this was going to go and how it was going to come about because
I mean, how else did they expect to get in there, honestly?
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Alyssa is asking, is the character who plays Elle as a younger version Millie or someone else? I can't tell if it's them making her look younger or a different actress. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I thought it was just Millie. I thought it was an effect.
I thought it was an effect too.
So we could definitely look it up and clarify, but actually in my notes, we could just move on to Elle at Project Nina at this point. But one of my notes was like, I love every time we see her in the mirror. I think that's such a cool, like, I mean, I guess if it's a different actress, way to cast someone that looks exactly fucking like her, but it seems like it's a very cool effect.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, I got kind of like
update from D. D says yes, they put her face on a younger actress.
Okay.
Well, that is still a special effect then. Like, so that's kind of a mix of both.
Point for us. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We'll take half a credit on that. Thank you.
I'll take half point anytime. Sure.
I got my negotiation skills from Cher from Clueless. Okay.
So, who didn't? Come on. It does look very cool though, regardless. I mean,
I'll agree.
Even if it was just another actress, that would totally remind me of like, I mean, they must have gotten the casting agent from Dark on Netflix because it is an identical face, but
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, every time we see that, it's really cool. It's like jarring isn't the right word, but you're like, whoa, right. Like we are seeing it through current Elle's eyes, but like this is actually what it looks like. Yeah.
Little Elle. Yeah.
Which I think is especially shocking when she gets like basically jumped in the rainbow room and then we see little baby Elle in the mirror. It's really sad.
Well, and that's what I was going to talk about was all of the papas. I I don't know.
What, like him like pitting the kids against each other?
Yeah,
Basically?
but then all of them though being like, "Yes, Papa, morning, Papa. Okay, Papa." I'm like, ugh, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Okay, like,
And so this guy, this blonde-haired dude, I was calling him an attendant, but I don't know what to call him really.
I mean, Brenner's like assistant. I don't know. Like that's what I was calling him.
Brenner's boy.
And just in case anyone is wondering, or you probably already know this, that is my man from Sweeney Todd. Anyways, I love
Oh.
Sweeney Todd, but when they came out with the theatrical version, he plays the one trying to get Sweeney Todd's daughter out of captivity. But anyway, I was like, hey, I know you, and you have a beautiful singing voice. So
He has a bit like I don't know that I'm attracted to him, but he has a beautiful face.
he
Like,
has a good look.
if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if you could call somebody beautiful without feeling an attraction, but I just did. So there we go.
He's got I mean, like, and I don't mean this negatively, but he's got like a fragile face, like a very like
Yeah.
soft, fragile,
Yes.
face.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like you could maybe break his jawbone just by touching him.
just with the simplest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your fingers might go right through his cheek or something.
Just it's like marshmallow.
Yeah. Well, he's like very like fair skinned and like porcelain looking sort of, but
Yeah.
it's beautiful. But
Oh yeah.
but I do like that he's like sowing these seeds of distrust within Elle of like, Papa doesn't always tell the truth.
Yeah. I don't know. This is extremely difficult. Let me just pretend like I have not seen episode 7.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm doing my best with that, but
I don't know what to think about it because is it part of Project Nina? I mean, like, because we've yet to really know. I still don't know, like, what the fuck are we doing? Right? Like, why does Elle have to do all these things? I mean, like, I know it's to get her powers back, but I mean, like, why is it in this instance? And like, so is Brenner's assistant boy or whatever
assistant boy,
is he an obstacle?
Brenner's boy. I like that. Brenner's boy.
Brenner's boy, like, but is he like something that she's going to have to overcome, like, to get? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't understand what he's doing or who what he is.
I guess I took it to just be like, I took it for face value. Like, we are in the memory. This is exactly how it went down. It's not being manipulated by the Nina Project. And then I think that the whole conversation about like, well, if you've had a stroke, you can relearn certain human functions, like your brain can be rewired and all that kind of stuff. And so Brenner thinking that that's how Elle is going to get her powers back, that kind of connected with what Brenner's boy was saying of like, I spent time with one, they tapped into this memory that gave them a memory that, what was it, like made them scared but also sad or something like that. Like they used that energy. So like by going back into these memories, this is how she's going to rewire her brain. Like she's going to tap into something from those memories to then rewire the power area of her brain to go again. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like, I get that part, but I'm just saying, like,
oh, okay.
What is the purpose, though? Okay. I guess I wasn't seeing, Brenner boy. I guess I wasn't seeing him as like an actual part of the memory. I think I was like taking that he was like a real maybe like the outside. How do I explain this? It's very difficult. I guess I just thought that he was like something that was added there to sort of be a touchstone of like the in-between or something.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay, so you think he's like manufactured fractured in a way, sort of.
Right. Like he's almost like a, not a hologram, but he's almost like something, yeah, like for Elle to, because if these memories are being reconstructed and she's tapping back into this, so she can't really talk to Brenner as adult Elle. So perhaps this was like someone that was there as a touchstone for her in some kind of way. But I mean,
Interesting.
I guess he was always there. I don't know.
Alyssa says, same. I thought he wasn't part of the memory, but like a guide while she's inside.
That, so yeah, that, thank you. That, thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an alarm that keeps going off, so hopefully this doesn't exit me, but like, am I back? Am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then also, I missed this comment before, but Alyssa says, that was horrific. The bullying in there, coupled with the bullying she had earlier in the season. Whew, overwhelming. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your username, but I'm going to call you Biz. I hope that's okay. Biz says, as far as I know, that effect you were talking about earlier is called deep fake face swap. Oh, okay. I've heard of this. Interesting.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Biz.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super interesting. I hadn't thought about him being just like a projection or like a guide or something, but
Yeah.
why not? Like, there's nothing there that says that he's not, except like I said, I just took it as just pure face value, like she's in a memory. We are watching everything unfold the way that it did. But yeah, like maybe Brenner's fucking with her.
Yeah.
Or maybe not fucking with her, but like influencing, shaping how she's moving through things. I don't know.
Right. Like, okay. I guess let's also look at it like this. So yes, we're inside of a memory, but it's something that Elle, I don't think she necessarily remembers all of, right? Like she's got it tucked away.
No.
Like
Yeah.
say high school Elle, right? So they submerge her, they take her back into these, but what if there are little things that they tweaked or they changed in order to rebuild those parts of her, like when we're talking about with someone who's had a stroke, like relearning to walk and talk. So like what if they've tweaked a few little things that will help her become powerful again? And so I just thought that he was like part of this, and I guess I was trying to justify it by saying, or by thinking, we've never seen him before, but I mean, realistically, we haven't seen that much of,
Right.
we haven't seen anything of life with Elle, except for the small bit that we got in season 2 when she was part of the Runaway gang.
Right. So. Yeah. And he mentions, well, now that's interesting because he does mention 8.
He does.
And he brings her back to, well, he asks her, like, do you remember that day when that woman was here? Obviously talking about her mother. Oh, I like this. This is definitely a different lens to think about things through. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now I'm like, but we go to this room where he has like everything on VHS. Like anything that happened in my lab is taped, and we're putting, like, I don't really understand the logistics of how it's all working inside of Project Nina, but I guess that was another thing that maybe purposefully led me to just be like, oh, la la la, like she's just going through memories, like don't worry about it, Jasmine.
It's I mean, obviously more comes like in the next episode or whatever, but it's just very interesting. Also, the way that they're talking to each other, like when Elle is like in the memory, right, where they're like, you're pushing her too hard, or like what. So I guess it was like all of those little things where I was like, okay, so is this guy then like part of the whole thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting. And I like this too because I was feeling so sus in episode 5 of like, why did you not talk to her and try to like reason with her before you just fucking stuck a needle in her and shaved her head? Like,
No. Yeah.
Interesting. Love it. Love this very, very much. Now, this game that she's trying to play, which I was just referring to as Plinko in my notes because
It
it's
is.
basically Plinko.
Yeah.
Do we think there's some significance there, or is this just a game that she's trying to play and get it? And she's working on her powers, trying to move the thing to 3.
I think that's what, because I see the other kids playing it too. So I think
Okay.
it's just to try to control which thing the puck ends up in.
Whatever.
But
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite Price is
Of
Right
course.
games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The best. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll come back. Maybe there'll be some sort of significance with it later, but I think that's all I've got with Elle. So we could go to Max's crew.
Okay.
Oh, it was here in my notes that I did say like Lucas might just die because he's really saying all the right things, but
I know.
because they have another great conversation. And I think this one was even more important of him saying like I wasn't even looking, but like now I see you. I loved
Oh,
that so much. It was so freaking sweet.
I know. High schoolers. Who knew they were so deep?
Well, this is what I'm saying though. It's like so often high school boys are just written to be, and we have some of those in this show, written to be doofuses or jerks or whatever. But like so many of them in this show are actually really mature and really great. And I think just with like a general societal conversation about how we're raising boys, it's good to see.
100%. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? So this is, yeah, where they start putting the pieces together. Oh my God, I love that Steve was like, bitch, I know where Skull Rock is. Okay. And do you want to know why? Because that is a popular makeout spot and it's popular because of me. Steve's the best.
I love him so much.
I especially love that the actor is like 30, so I can crush on him as much as I want.
I know, but like Steve, oh God.
Oh my God, Alyssa is threatening to cancel me if I keep talking about Lucas in that way.
I'm telling you. Just kidding.
All right, I'm very sorry.
Steve is just such a great character. Like, yeah. I really will probably raise big hell if Steve or Eddie were to bite the bullet. But
well, it was very hard to end. I mean, even when I was watching these through for the first time and I get to the end of episode 6, I was incredibly emotionally uncomfortable leaving it on that note.
Yeah.
Like, I did not like that.
Yeah.
I love this whole thing of how Steve is just going for it. Like, he's like, all right, somebody's got to go down there. I was swim captain or whatever. I've got the stuff, you know, and he just goes for it. It's so sweet. Like, and it's cool when he gets down there. Also love that Eddie just like wrapped a flashlight in the plastic bag for him. That was very cute. As if that was going to work, but whatever. It's fine. The gate itself at the bottom of the lake is very cool. And then I love the whole suspense of him, you know, going up to take a breath and then all of a sudden, like something comes for him. It's so good.
Oh my God. I loved everything about, you know, I loved everything about this. Like, you know, Dustin figuring out with the compass that it's not broken, you know, and then obviously the kids are, you know, talking with, you know, they're with the police officers or whatnot. And so then I love that it's, you know, Robin, Eddie, Nancy, and Steve that
in the boat,
out there. And Dustin's like, whatever he says, like, what about me? And or I thought you said just 2 or something like that. And I'm like, sorry. Like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but we lied. Bedtime at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to be able to see like the 4 older kids doing something together. That was a fun dynamic.
Like without the younger,
like, not that there's anything wrong with that whole group being together, but I like the split and I
Yeah,
like being able to see just the different dynamics play together. So,
absolutely.
um, and already in the boat, like, it's very sweet, it's very fun. I know you're not super digging it, but the way that Nancy looks at Steve when he's about to jump in and he gets a whole googly eye, like, be careful, like, but the better part of that was when Steve took off his shirt and Max took the binoculars, was like, let me see.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it, girl. That's, yeah, that'd be me too. Good for you.
Let me zoom
Take a
in.
peep. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Let
all
me
right.
zoom. But all of that was super cool. I love the camera angle as he's actually going through the gate and it just like flips upside down. And then there's like these
Amazing.
weird, it was fucking cool. Yeah. Um, and then I guess like, what are we calling them? Because we called them like Demodogs, the little Demogorgons. So like Demobats or
Yeah.
something.
Demobats, I guess.
But
Yeah.
they really have gripped Steve up. Like he's got a couple bites into him. He's getting strangled. It's not looking good.
No. No.
Alyssa says the older kids are so cheesy. I love them all, but the younger kids totally outperform the older ones. Interesting. Okay. I don't know if I feel the same. Hmm. It's really hard to say. Like I feel like like they're pretty talented across the board.
Yeah. I think that the additions to the older uh kids, so listen, I am sorry, Jonathan, but like removing Jonathan from the group, okay, and then adding Robin and now adding Eddie, like I feel like they shine so much more.
It's a good crew.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and the feeling and the chemistry, I guess, feels a lot like what we see with the younger kids there.
That's a
So
good point. Yeah. It's like it's more lively. Like there's more chemistry there maybe. Yeah. Dee
okay, wait
says,
a minute.
oh,
I can't
oh,
believe I did not mention this in episode 6. Was it? I believe this was in episode 6. You'll have to excuse me. I
you
wrote
mean
out
5? 5?
5. I meant, yeah, 5. When no, 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 no. Never mind. Scratch all that.
Okay. It's scratched.
Scratch it all. Just
Scratch it
Steve.
out.
And I was gonna say something, but I think that was actually in 4, and we
Oh.
are probably talking about that.
I
But
mean,
just
you can
Steve
still
and
say it
Dustin.
if you want.
No, I mean it's just like the way that they, gosh, like they play off of each other. I did this like little recap journey for myself today. I didn't watch all of Stranger Things like 1 through 3 over again, but I watched this video of like all the highlights of like Steve and
Oh,
Dustin.
nice.
Like, okay, but really though, like the talking about how to fix your hair and like like then the way when Dustin gets back from camp and they see each other at the mall, and yeah, and then you've got the dynamic is just, I guess it's slightly different because they're older now too, but like
Right.
they're super sassier with each other this season too. But yeah,
Who's I almost call him Scott. Steve and Dustin.
yeah, Steve and Dustin.
Yeah. Well, and I
Like
do
with
think we
Dustin,
said something about like wherever they go, like the comedy follows. Like
absolutely.
they are so funny together.
Yeah. But I think it was in episode 4, and I don't know why this just popped in my head, but it was when he made the comment about Dustin losing his teeth again or something, and he was like, too
Too
far.
soon.
Or like, yeah, he's like, I'm sorry.
But then even in episode 5, like uh Steve says something about, oh, so what's this Vecna guy, like a clockmaker? And Dustin is just like, yeah, I think you cracked it, buddy. And I'm
Yeah,
like, Steve can't get any respect around here. Like
that's what
he is just throwing ideas out. He is trying to make it work. Like, cut him some slack.
yeah, but come on now, clockmaker.
I
Like,
mean, we don't know. The clock
I
keeps
know, but
showing up.
okay, you're
He's
right.
doing
Like,
his best.
Steve,
He's doing his best.
E for effort. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Dee said Steve is going full John McClane, no shoes, no shirt, and some chest hair.
Full Die Hard. Like, full on, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was walking on glass barefoot the next time we see him.
What else do we have here? Alyssa says those bats reminded me of Gremlins for some reason.
Yeah. Well, they beat them. Well, yeah, the Gremlins, because I think in Gremlins 2, they had some gremlin bats or something. They had like all kinds of gremlins in Gremlins 2. So,
Gotcha.
But yeah, so Demogramma bats.
Demogramma bats. And then Alyssa says, okay, you sold me. You're right. They're good. The chemistry and dynamics are better now that Robin and Eddie are in the picture. Yeah, it's like a nice balance with everything.
Yeah.
All right, what else? I guess that's good for Max's crew.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else. It was really, I mean, the highlight really was once they get onto the water and then Steve goes down and, finding the gate and everything. But
yeah. I'm being nasty.
Right. That's right. He said. So, shall we check in with the basketball jerks? And, they really fuck up the town hall. I will say, like, I did mention in one of our earlier episodes, like, I hope that they continue to utilize this satanic panic thing. And I think that they're doing a really great job, especially in this town hall scene. I'm just irritated that, like, the cops don't step in. It feels like they really let them go on for the sake of the plot. And I wonder, like, is it an optics thing? Like, do they not want to stop what Jason is saying because it might look like they're trying to cover up something? I don't know. It just felt like you let him talk for too long. He's a teenager. Shut him up.
Well, I think it's a hometown hero type thing too.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Where it's just like, yeah, like captain of basketball team, they won, like, even though it was Lucas that did it, but like, they won the championship. I think it's like that whole, like, just toxic small town stuff, right, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true.
I also think the police don't know what the fuck is going on. So, too, they're probably like, well, I mean, just let the boy talk. Because maybe we'll find something out.
let him do our work for us. Yeah, that's
like,
great.
Like Scooby-Doo a little bit.
I mean, but also, like, it's like Nancy a couple episodes ago. Like, do you guys not remember seasons 1 through 3? Like, do you need some DVDs? Do you need a Netflix password? Take mine, catch the fuck up, and come back.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me, but yeah, so they've got the town in a frenzy. The parents of our main crew all sort of meet back at the Wheelers to see what's going on, but that's kind of where that's all left off.
I mean, gotta love Erica.
Like, sorry, bitch, you were lied to.
Yeah.
Your kids did not go to a movie.
Right.
And then I love when a minute later, she's like, are you calling the theater? Like, I think I already told you, like, that's not happening.
Oh my God, love it.
Yeah, she's great. She's not getting as much screen time this season. Hopefully she comes more into play in episodes 8 and 9, or 7 even.
I think I might have talked about something that was in episode 7 earlier.
It didn't register, but I have seen it, so apologies to. I mean, I feel like everybody that's watching or listening has probably also seen it. We are really just covering them slower because, like, yeah. I mean, we've already been talking for almost an hour and a half about 2 episodes, so.
True. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've really only got Hopper to check in with, except for there is that, like, one-off scene where the military guy, or not the military guy, but one of the other security guards, law enforcement dudes, whatever, that was like protecting Will and Mike and them, he's being tortured, which I'm like, okay, this probably could have been in a different episode, but
I mean, I guess, I don't know. Again, with that, like, I feel like that went on a little too long as well. It's like, we get it, you're torturing him. Listen, it's like what I said about when we saw the torturing of Hopper, like, before he went into the prison. It's like,
right.
We don't need too many specifics on it. We get it. So
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Hopper stuff. Oh, one comment here. Alyssa, I loved the parents' concern at the town hall meeting. They looked so horrified for the kids. It was really good and felt genuine. I agree. Yeah, and I like the little glances that they kept sharing with each other. Like, is this possible? Like, oh my God. Like, you can tell that they're like trying to communicate with one another in those moments. Like, we need to stick together. And yeah, it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
And Dee says, I've seen all the episodes that are up, just avoiding the new teasers that have been released.
I have not watched the. Okay, I've been purposefully not watching the teasers. It's been very
Don't look up
hard.
don't look up anything then. Like if you are not wanting to know anything before July 1st because
I don't think I want to. Like, I think like July 1st, I think I want to sit down.
yeah.
I don't want to just binge it all. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm just
so
saying that because I forget what I was looking up. Like I think I was trying to clarify something for my notes, and one of the first things that came up was volume 2 leaks. And so I may be completely spoiled on a few
why
things,
do
which
people do this?
I don't know. Yeah. Like can't it's just be patient. Like it's not even that long. It's not like it's back in 2019 and we've got to wait now till 2022. Like it's literally in 2 weeks. And they were like a month apart. Like calm
Okay.
down.
I have to tell you. So when we waited so long for the last season of Game of Thrones, right?
Hmm.
So I worked with someone and he loved Game of Thrones as well. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, because we had to wait a while for the last season, right?" And so he was like, I found this website that has like all of the leaks on it. Do you want to read it? And I was like, no, but I did. I got so impatient.
No, but yes, please.
Yeah, I got so impatient waiting, and I mean, thankfully, most of it was actually not true. Like who ended up with the throne and whatnot, that was not predicted correctly. But there were some things in there where I was like, I mean, it wasn't bad enough to spoil. Like, I won't get into the last season of Game of Thrones, but it
Yeah.
wasn't bad enough to spoil me from like watching it.
Right.
But I don't understand why people want to know all this before you get to watch it. Like the the
Yeah.
the biggest part of the fun is like fucking watching it all happen. I don't know.
It's true. Yeah. And some stuff I go back and forth because I'm like, I feel like spoilers can't, if a show is good enough, it can't ruin it for you, but there is something that's robbed from you. And like, unless you want to know that information, I hate that it's just like readily available. We will talk about this in our in our episode 7 coverage, but all I was doing was a Google image search for promo photos for us. And I was completely spoiled on a huge reveal for
Yeah,
episode 7.
I
And
know.
I didn't seek it out. I was just looking at photos. Like Stranger Things season 4 episode 2 and it was like, "Oh, do you want to know everything about episode 7? Here you go."
Listen, I'm here to tell y'all, like, the good thing about Twin Peaks is that even if you just Google like Lucy Brennan, The Return, you don't know what episode what is in. Like nothing is
No.
going to get spoiled for you.
You could Google tell me what happens in Twin Peaks The Return and you could read it and you'd still be like, "But what happens
What's it
though?"
though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but when you have this, obviously, especially what happens in episode 7, then
Yes.
and it all dropping at one time, I knew it knew it was out there, and I just tried so hard not to be on social media. Like I just did not want to get spoiled.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It gets harder and harder all the time too. So
oh yeah.
whatever, especially with like a 1 day drop. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's check in with Hopper. That's the last thing
Okay.
we've got to do. Basically the Last Supper. I mean, it is, right? Like,
Yeah, but
and
it's
these fools are sitting there thinking like, "Oh, they're toughening us up. You know, we got to train this monster." And Hopper's just like, you guys
Hopper's
don't
like,
even know."
but he's also like, bitch, I've been there, done, been there,
Like for
done that.
3 seasons. Okay. I have 3 t-shirts.
Well, and it's almost like, okay, so you are not scared of the supernatural creature that is banging behind that door, but we got to go to Mope Town. I mean,
Such a good point. Yes.
Hopper,
Yeah.
Hopper,
I know it was a weird journey from episode 5 to episode 6. And it's like it's almost like he lost all hope in episode 5, but then for some reason was like bolstered by something.
what was it? Because
Yeah.
honestly, you would think the way that we left him in season 5, that season 6 he would have just stood out there and sacrificed himself and been like, well, you know, what else? I don't have nothing else to live
Exactly.
for.
Yeah. He felt like where was the transition between the rock bottom in episode 5 and then, you know, him gaining this resolve in episode 6. I still love it. I thought it was a great plan. I mean, I love the way he, you know, not takes these guys down, but like gives them a reality check and is like, this is what we're here for. So like get prepared. And at first I couldn't remember if he let Enzo in on the plan. And I think it's smarter that he didn't, that he said nothing and just like really went for the jugular with him, like going after his kid, because it made it all feel very real. So
yeah. Listen, I'm going to be honest. That was a great, I loved that. But again, like, could have cut out so much stuff that,
yeah.
I guess that's the thing. Like, this has been a difficult journey for me with Hopper. I left season 3 so upset. When I tell you so upset.
Oh, yeah.
I was really like, fuck this. I'm not watching this anymore. And I remember I watched it the last episode before Scott. And then I told him, I was like, you just don't even want to do it. And he was like, will you leave me alone? So anyway, and then like, it's just been such a journey with Hopper that I hate to even say this, but at this point I'm like, let's just
move it along. Yeah.
All right. Like, he's here. Yeah, he was tortured. Life sucks in the you know, on the chain gang. Wow, he was he wasn't betrayed by Enzo, but I mean, like, you know, he got sent back. Now he's gonna be big tough Hopper and like fight a Demogorgon, you know, or like what, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's a little up and down. And I think,
what are we doing?
Like maybe if his stuff had been condensed into just like 2 or 3 of these first 6 episodes, maybe we would feel differently. And again, I really do think it's me now looking at this through the lens of it's not the final season. Why are these episodes so big? Like there's so much here that it just doesn't need to be. It really just doesn't. It's not doing anything.
That's I didn't feel like it was filler. And now I'm like, why do we have all this fucking filler?
Uh-oh. I don't know. Oh, there you are. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I don't know if you paused for everybody, but you paused for me, so.
Oh. Yeah, no, all I was saying was like, I didn't feel like it was filler until I found out this wasn't the last season. And now I'm like, this is a lot of Hopper filler, and I don't need it. It
feels like on the one hand, I feel a little hypocritical, but then also I'm like, but I can't help it. Like, it just changes how I'm looking at things. Like, it really just genuinely changes my feelings towards it. I really wish I never thought it was the final season. Like, I really wish I never had that in my head. That would have been nice.
I mean, yeah. And I guess I feel foolish because nothing ever really specifically said that, I guess. Because, listen.
No, I swear to God, way back in the day, they were like, season 4 is the last one. I feel like we shared a story that was like, it's coming back for season 4, but it's the final season.
I thought so too. And unless they have scrubbed the internet, because like as soon as I started getting like friends that were like, no, there's another season. And I'm like, yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong. But no, I was wrong. And I was like Googling like a mad person. I was like, who said it was season 4 was the last thing? Who? And I couldn't find anything. And I was like, am I in the Mandela effect right now? Like,
I swear to God, we fell down one of those holes. Yeah, because like I don't know. I really remember it being billed that way, but whatever. We can, like I said, I'm gonna stop defending my weird brain on this. Or maybe I won't ever. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have for these episodes though. Obviously still enjoying it. And anytime I'm like, well, we didn't really need this, we didn't really need that, like I still want Stranger Things. Like I still enjoy this show a lot. It's very entertaining. It's well written. I mean, it has great characters. It's a great show.
Yeah.
It has a particular magic that not a lot of shows capture. So or give off, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I mean, like, honestly, I think like that just this is how I justify when I complain about things. It's like when I complain about Scott, it's like if I didn't love something so much, I wouldn't care enough to
You wouldn't
complain.
care, sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Alyssa
like,
says timeline jumping. Oh, is that what we were doing? Were we timeline jumping? Is that what you mean?
no, I'm
Um,
worried that what I think she's saying is they're probably going to do some timeline jumping, perhaps. Maybe, I don't
to go
know.
to season 5, like we're gonna jump ahead. I mean,
Probably.
I can't see. I don't know how they don't.
Yeah, unless nothing, okay, unless
No,
nothing.
no, you guys jump timelines. Yes, we jump timelines. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, we jumped timeline. Listen,
Yes.
for me, I was
Like
like,
we lived in a dimension where it was the final season and then we jumped and we came back here. Yeah.
what year is it?
What year is this, guys? Dee says it feels like a final season. I mean, especially with them releasing it in 2 parts. Isn't that like the norm now with final seasons to be released in 2 parts? And like, I know people complain about that. I really don't care. Give me a final season in 2 parts. I'm happy for it. Like,
No,
extend that shit, milk that shit. That's fine with me. But
you and I talked about this, but I loved how they did the final season of Breaking Bad.
yeah,
Two seasons or like 2 parts. It was phenomenal. Chef's kiss. One of my all-time favorites. So that's why maybe that's why I had it in my mind. I was like, oh shit, they're splitting it. It's the end of it, like, and the last 2 episodes are gonna like a total up to like the back half of the last season of Breaking Bad.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. Whatever. It is what it is. And we're gonna get more. So that means that we'll just get to keep covering it. So
That's
I
right.
mean, I guess unless Eddie dies, because then you're just not gonna watch it anymore.
Okay, goodbye. I'm not even gonna talk. No, just kidding. We are not even putting it into the universe, okay?
Yep. I'm not putting it into the universe. I like we said before, I don't really want anyone to die, but somebody's definitely dying.
Well, I'm gonna be fine if it's Nancy. Bye.
I'll say more about that next week.
I am so cold-hearted. I know that. I'm sorry to everyone that thinks that I have a shred of. No, I'm just kidding.
Did
No,
anyone think that? I'm kidding.
Right. No, that's right. Everyone knows I'm cold-hearted. Never mind. So yes, I'm just confirming it to all
They've
of you.
seen all the black shirts in your closet. Okay, they know you're dark.
Oh my God. Well, I will. Okay, if something were to happen to Nancy, I would be upset. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I would feel really bad because she's been there from the beginning. I really would. Don't give me that look. But I would also be like, if I had to sacrifice a character, here's Nancy.
Right.
You can have her.
I think my biggest issue though is that it's not going to hurt, and it should hurt.
No, I know. Well, that's why I say that is I don't want to act like I won't have feelings about it. I will, because she has been there from the beginning. I mean, obviously. I mean, she's, Mike's big sister. Like, we've seen her grow up.
She's very central. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I'm thinking strategery. So if I had to sacrifice, if I had to throw somebody to
If
the
you could
wolves,
choose, sure. Alyssa says, I'm with you, Mel's. Dee says, I like Nancy, but it does look like she'll be joining Barb soon. LOL. Alyssa says, I think taking Robin from Steve would be more detrimental than Nance. 100% correct, and I will cancel you if you continue to talk like that, Alyssa. So.
no, I agree that, yeah, I would agree that if they took Robin away,
for sure. I do think that hits harder. Yeah.
Very upset.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Well, we kind of said it a couple of times, but we will be back next week to talk about episode 7. We'll be back then next week. Okay. We're gonna talk about it then. It's a big one. It's such a long episode. It's like basically the same amount of time that episodes 5 and 6 were. So next, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be here to talk about the Demobats attacking Steve. Yeah. So until then, thanks everyone that joined us tonight. Thanks everyone that's watching later. Thank you everyone that's listening. I feel like we dropped a few insider baseball things here, and if you want to know more about what we meant, you have to check out our Discord, which is available through our Patreon, patreon.com/damnfinetv. You know where to find us on Instagram because you're here. So
yeah, you're here.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Same damn time, same damn channel D's. Yes. Nice one. Love it.
Oh, he said that? Yeah.
Yes, same damn time, same damn channel. That's great. Don't know why I didn't do that, and I went for same bat. But anyway.
Well, we were trying to relate it. Okay.
It's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Oh my gosh, can't wait. See y'all then.
Bye.